Well, hello there, guys. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Panzer Corps 2. Particularly, we're going to be playing the Spanish Civil War mod, or DLC. I actually never really got a chance to play it fully. I did stream it ages ago, but I want to actually jump in and see what this is like. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's hit the new game. I think we can go for Captain, don't you guys? I think so. Let's go for a little bit of an advanced or general. So minus 30% prestige. It'll be a bit more of a challenge, but I think we can handle it. So let's jump right into the Spanish Civil War. Right now we'll be arriving from North Africa, and I'm going to keep things really simple. So Gunther Fritz, I'm fine with that. And what I'm going to take is the Battle Academy boost. Since we're already getting a minus 30 prestige, I figure we might as well try and offset it here with this. So, Oberleutnant Stefan Wagner reporting for duty. May I say it's an honor to meet you, General Gunther Fritz. I swear now to faithfully serve you and the fatherland to any end. I have your orders, direct from Commander Speer. Shall we begin? As you are undoubtedly aware, our government has pledged to aid the Spanish nationalists in their uprising. Our deployment to Spain is to begin immediately, but there are some critical details that I feel you must be made aware of. Because we don't want to undermine the legitimacy of the nationalists, we will not be deploying any German infantry forces to the Spanish conflict. Therefore, your primary battle group, Kampfgruppe 88, is to provide supporting roles to assist the main body of nationalist forces in their coup. You'll be expected to work closely with our Spanish compatriots in the campaign ahead. Speaking of which, the first assignment is to safely escort them across the Strait of Gibraltar. Let's do it, guys. We've got several different things that we need to capture. We only have a limited opportunity to move all of these forces across. There should be enough time to transport 2 waves of units by naval transport. If you move quickly, the Army of Africa units will likely need to be airlifted as they are a bit behind embarkation points. Once aground, advance to Seville, and then, of course, we want to clear all resistance around Seville and hold it for good. So here we go, folks. It is the deployment phase. We're going to hide that ugly deployment screen because we pretty much have what we want. Now, you might be tempted to want to get rid of some of these anti-tank weapons, artillery, etc. But these are actually the core units. I don't believe the African infantry or the colonial infantry are actually going to be considered core units. Nonetheless, we're going to try to bring them up as soon as possible. We've got the deployment phase set. We could undeploy all, and what I am going to do, actually, I hope I'm not screwing anything up this way. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So it doesn't seem to be actually giving me any deployment points. So let's just keep what we've got. Let's not push it. All right, first turn in, I was going to say Spain, but in this case it's North Africa. And first things first, we want to immediately start heading over here to southern Spain. So let's go ahead and get on the boats. And we are immediately going to head out. We've got to keep in mind, though, that the enemy is on their way. They will be here fairly soon, of course, and they'll cut us off. We won't be able to move anybody, so let's try and get that job done right now. Here we go. Actually, we'll put him there. Want to make sure that we're also bringing the remainder of the Army of Africa units forward. Now, they don't have any sort of assistance in terms of mobility. We can't buy trucks for them. We can't buy anything like that. They're all moving on foot. So that does cause a little bit of confusion every now and again. And, of course, our wonderful bombers. Let's actually first get just our spotter out there, the Rayo. All right, so we can already see, look at that, quite a few enemies. It looks like CNT-5 international brigades waiting for us, and of course, the Republic's own military forces. Give me just 1 second, my friends. Drop a message here on Discord. See if we can't bring in the Twitch crowd. Welcome. We got a few more viewers. Just give me 1 sec as I fire over this message. Okay, let's get back to the fighting. So again, I do want to try and bombard those units right there on the coast. Obviously, we're going to be landing some units of our own, so let's try and really maximize the damage. In fact, I think we can take out this wagon. I'm guessing it's some sort of munitions wagon, something like that. We can take it out pretty quickly with our planes. Of course, this is early war planes, but they do a damn good job. Let's bring in the second one and try and target enemy militia here. Militia. Vamos a atacar with the Hinkle here. Actually, I'd like to get another bomber. Guess this is also a Hinkle? I don't know. Let me take a look. HS. We're going to have to see if our grognards know if this is actually a Hinkle or a different company. In any case, we could still continue the attack, and it looks like we could try and take down that enemy plane. The Republic doesn't have many planes, but they do have a few. They've also got anti-air guns, so let's be careful here. And I'm guessing those anti-air guns are quite effective against biplanes like these. Take another shot. And of course, trying to get to that coast of Cadiz as quickly as possible is going to be important. If we want to help the nationalists win this war, then this air support is going to be extremely, extremely important to the war effort. Let's see if we can get behind them here. And again, keep in mind, we can't have any core German units. The way it's set up is we're kind of military advisors, more like a step up for military advisors. But those core military units, in terms of the German side, are not an option. Well, in terms of infantry units. So we can still have these core artillery support units, which, as you guys can imagine, are going to absolutely play a part in our invasion here. Trying to get those out as soon as we can, but we still got to wait a little bit longer. Just make sure we moved all of our infantry. And again, most of these Army of Africa infantry units are going to have to be brought over by plane. That'll happen a little bit later. We're ending the turn. First turn ended. Let's see what Cientify and the Spanish Republic is going to throw at us here. Gunther Fritz. All right. So I think, well, first of all, we could probably still move a few units over. Let me just take a look. So yeah, we can. Let's go ahead and embark. I think this artillery is going to be very important if we want to support those Army of Africa units. Now, the Army of Africa units are great and all, but without some air support and artillery support, I fear they're just not going to be reaching their full potential. I think it's pretty unlikely. Hold on one sec, guys. Close a few these screens. I've got a little bit of lag on the stream, and if you guys ever see lag on the stream, just let me know in the comments. It really helps to know. I think that's going to help because we're going to close down quite a few tabs. Let's hope it does. All right, we got to get the necessary men down on the ground. That's going to be our armored units. I think it's odd that we can use tanks, simply not armor, but it is what it is. And there's something else that's quite odd about this first turn when you play this campaign, although I think it makes sense, and that is that you can't attack the forces of the Republic, and they can't attack you this first turn. But as you can see, we do have the flag there of the Condor Legion up and running. Next turn, they will begin the attack, and that's when we actually have to try to repulse them. But for now, just trying to get some units out on the ground. And ultimately, you know, with Panzer Corps 2, you can kind of continue with your units throughout the campaign. These could, you know, end up in the Eastern Front over time. Of course, they would be upgraded tanks. We wouldn't be taking Panzer 1s into the Eastern Front. Maybe another little scout mission. We kind of want to see the road up to Seville. I think we can just barely hit that unit, so I will go after them. Drop some bombs. We had a bomber. We could potentially hit this soft target here. I'm calling it a soft target. It's really a hard target. It's a supply dump. Yeah, it looks like we're going to end up doing more damage to ourselves hitting the supply dump. So for now, I'm not going to worry about it, but we can actually capture that airfield and reassess the location and positioning of our troops right now. So right now, I'm going to try to do one more actual transport over. I think we've already got some artillery, so we'll bring that in next turn. For now, let's just try to bring in some additional units, additional ground units or recon units specifically in this case. Here we go. Maybe, just maybe, we can get this anti-tank pack out there. Do the same with the artillery, and of course we're still bringing the Army of Africa to the ports. But again, the Allies will likely cut us off here. We're gonna have to move this Army of Africa over by air. That's just something that we will do in time here. Good to see you guys too. Feel free to chat. Hello, Fat Cat from Sweden. Yeah, man, thanks a bunch. I figured I'd do a little stream here. Again, I think I just sometimes get burnt out, especially since on this channel we play, well, let's be honest, a lot of the same games. So just needed a little time to relax, and I figured, you know, it's late. I kind of wanted to play this, and might as well stream it for you guys. Okay, let's end the turn, and this turn we will officially be in contact. As you can see, my general, the Jamie 1 and her escorts have arrived off the coast. We must transport the Army of Africa by air with Ju-52s with Stukas from now on. But there we go. Now, of course, the fighting begins. So I'm going to start trying to transport these guys over. But to do that, we've got to actually get them to an airfield. And the only airfields are going to be over here in the north. So we're going to start moving these guys over in that area. And ultimately, that's going to be the goal, is to transport them by plane to their new location. Let's also try to get these guys the hell out of here, because the enemy ships are arriving. They could cause some pretty serious problems. And let's move up with the Panzer 1A. I think I'm immediately going to try to engage this 20mm. Yes, we're going to take some hits ourselves, but I figure we want to remove that threat immediately. Obviously, it can be used to support a lot of the enemy forces on the ground, and we don't want that to happen. Here we go. Nice. Well done, boys. Overrun. Let's move into Cadiz right now. Actually, just grab the airfield. And I wonder if we could transport our unit now. We're likely going to have to shoot that guy down. That's going to take a little while. Let's start it. Let's begin in any case. Like I said before, the Republic does have an air force, but a lot of these planes are not up to standard. Let's put it that way. One more good attack after this, and we will knock them down. The airfield will be fully under our control. Ataka. It's not going to be sufficient. Looks like we'll just get one. However, he's not going to be able to return to that airfield, and we did shoot him down right inside the city of Cadiz. That's not going to sit well with the civilians there. We're going to just kind of ignore that. Let's pretend we didn't actually drop a massive plane right in the middle of their city. And with the SDKFC, I am going to push north, actually. Now again, I think we just wait a turn before engagement begins. These guys can certainly engage us, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and get the artillery close. However, I think that's going to take a while. In the meantime, we will start bringing it over there. And let's start firing on the supply dump. Why not? It's going to be much safer for us to take it out just with our tanks instead of sending in infantry or planes. And it looks like that'll be sufficient. Can either of these guys move in this turn? Maybe not. Maybe next turn. Oh, maybe we can move in this turn. In the meantime, I'm going to push the artillery forward as well. We did still have those Pumas that I wanted to bring. There's one of them. It's probably not a Puma variant. Let's see. And I will still try to bring these guys over. I believe we still have one turn in which we can embark, although there is a high likelihood, a high probability that we'll be attacked out on the open ocean with these ships. It is here. Exactly. Exactly. It wasn't us. It was the CNT-5. They did that. It was intentional. It was intentional. Make sure that this part of the Army of Africa is also almost over. And again, one thing that I really enjoy about this campaign is without the support, the constant air and artillery support that we're giving these guys, they're not going to be very effective. So we absolutely have to keep, you know, sending in that support as much as possible. Really wish some of them would get a little closer to the coast here so that we could use the HS 123 to attack, but that's not going to happen. Let's end the turn. Okay, now we could use our aircraft to attack the enemy's ships, but yes, they did arrive this turn. I think it's highly unlikely that that artillery will make it across. Okay, the Republic has tanks. What kind of tanks? That's what I want to know. BT-5, so those are Soviet tanks for sure. Let's try and get rid of that little group of BT-5s. Oh, I expected the artillery to do much better than that. There we go. That's a little better. Again, we just have Panzer 1s. I think I'd prefer the BT-5, to be honest. Let's get into recon units. We get that little recon boost. We're going to be kind of stuck fighting this guy the next couple of turns. Well, the next turn, anyway. But I think it's a worthy sacrifice. All right, another thing that's going to be extremely important, I want to start getting these guys over. So let's see if we can directly transport them, or if we need to, like, get this thing out of the way. And now, yep, there we go. They should be able to dismount next turn, but we have to get this tank out of the way as well. And I'm just going to start getting closer to this village in between Cadiz and Seville. There's definitely quite a few forces over here, including some 70mm Schneiders. Damn! Looks like the communists in Germany have been getting under our skin and sending things over they shouldn't be. That's a damn nice weapon. All right, let's keep moving. The pack will try to outrun these ships, although I highly doubt that's going to happen. We might still be able to get that flat gun out, though. And in this case... just gonna, sorry, not a flat gun, that's the flat gun. This case we might just kind of hold this position. In Cadiz, we'll make sure to get the Legion's flag over the city, and it looks like we're that much closer to victory. Again, I want to keep on trying to move these guys over, so let me just get these guys out of the way. And as you can see, attacking the Republican Navy, probably not a good idea. It's just not going to go really in our favor. Damn it, that was a mistake too. Well, I think we can fix that one. All right, let's move this guy up here. Again, we're going to put him straight on the plains. And the rest of the colonial army is on the way. I don't think these, I don't think these are airfields, as far as I can tell. Yeah, definitely not. So we actually have to get to those airfields over here in the northwest of Tangier. He says, someone get Knoble and tell him that the Republic has the high ground. This is not good. Yo, Kenobi. Yeah, exactly. Wonder where Obi-Wan is these days. Right, that's sufficient for now. And again, even attacking them with bombers, we're taking pretty heavy hits. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rebase this guy over to our airfield. Seems crazy, I know, but what we'll do is before we land any of these planes, we'll of course send him out on an attack run. And then of course we will land our infantry and get them out into Spain. All right, let's end the turn. Yeah, they were definitely going to go after those units. Not much we can do about that. Kind of expected. Oh, yeah, that's going to be some pretty devastating fire offshore, but I don't think it's going to affect us all that much. as long as we can hold these existing positions. Okay, onwards towards Seville. Exactly. Okay, I really do want to wipe out that group of BT-5s. So let's just see. I mean, we can do tremendous damage to the infantry in the city, the 2nd Militia. Maybe we should focus on them, but I just can't help it. I see armor. I know it has to be destroyed. He actually took that first shot. Let's parse out our rounds this time. This time I'll fire at the city. Not exactly very effective. We're causing suppression damage, I believe, but we're not causing actual damage. And with these units, I'm going to actually try to get around to see if we can't also hit the artillery back here. Let's get around like that. Got some recon support for this attack. Nice. All right, it did help to hit them with artillery. Thank goodness we did that. Now let's focus on the enemies already here, the Schneiders. If we can wipe out the defenses of the artillery, there's no way that town can hold. All right, time to put this HS to use. Let's see if we get a kill on the BT-5s. This would be tremendous work by our Condor Legion. Almost. So close. Close, but no cigar. In the meantime, though, we will start dropping off our new friends. And this, of course, is going to be the Colonial Infantry, straight from North Africa. A lot of Bedouins, etc., working for the glorious Spanish cause. Well, I guess it's Spanish cause either way you look at it, right? Let's disembark. Push forward. They'll be the first arriving at Seville. It's looking pretty serious here. And as for the 11th Panzer Armée, I think just gonna keep my distance pretty much. That artillery is going to come in very, very useful, just to loosen up all these areas. I mean, the enemy has quite a lot of positions around here. All right, time to get some more men on planes. Let's go. Just getting him out of the way. Dang it. Move him back, although I do want to send him to the new airfield, but we'll do that later. We'll do that after this particular move, because it could get a little complicated. End up crashing some planes, and I don't want that to happen. All right. Hey, we might be able to get another guy flying this turn. Quite a few units on the way. All right. The skies above southern Spain are full of our units. Full of our mighty army. Yeah, again, I want to keep this guy here just to be safe. I mean, look at this, the Jaime 1. This is really what we're afraid of. It's an extremely strong battleship. The Republic actually had a decent navy. The navy was possibly the Republic's best feature in terms of military stuff. Unfortunately, you know, not exactly the most salient infantry forces, just because you had CNT-5, you had the forces of the Republic, you had various independent groups all sort of working together, and that definitely caused some confusion. All right, next turn we shall have everyone on the ground. Send the turn. All right, they're sending up definitely some reinforcements from Seville. Now, they can't spare too many, but what they can spare is coming down. Hey, Stin, how you doing, buddy? Looks like the artillery is going to return fire, but to no effect. We can't do much against these ships, that's for sure. Welcome to the invasion. Oh, I mean the liberation. I meant the liberations. That's what I meant. We are helping these people. I think. All right. Okay, so again, my main goal is wiping out that arty that's currently defending that town. So let's do whatever we can to do that. Can we overshoot here? I think we can. We're going to take some hits ourselves, but we can always take one turn to recuperate. Arty versus arty. And another major concern are, of course, the armored squads. This one from 16th Bilbao. This is actually a CNT-5 unit. Before I hit it, I want to move the tank up here. We're probably going to take some arty fire as well. But we've got that recon boost. I'm going for it. All right, pushing through with the 12th. Maybe not. See if we can push him out of the way, making room for these guys. Not quite. So I think I'm just going to take my rage out right there on that unit. But first, let's make sure we don't get another shot. Because if we move forward with our infantry, then I think we can in turn force another shot here against the enemy arty. We are playing on general difficulty for anybody wondering, whichever. Pepe, how you doing, bud? When rebellion started, Spanish Navy was anchored in Cartagena and coup failed there. That's why nationalist Spain didn't have the Navy in the game. That's awesome. Yeah, it makes sense. Because they have, the Republic has a decent Navy. It's quite decent. Fuera de aquí, ahora vamos a atacar. Let's go again with the 11th Panzer. Kind of expected more damage, but I'll take it. And I think it's time for our Army of Africa to start dishing out some damage as well. But first, man, I would love to kill that group right there. Let's see if we can't waste the BT-5. They do have AA support this time. But I'm so desperate to get a kill, I don't give a damn. Get them down to 2. Come on, make me a happy armored papa. Attack. Yes! Good job, boys! And that gives us a second attack there. The enemy's overrun. I'm going to move over here and target the arty. That was nice. I should have moved the infantry forward. I was a little quick to act there. Overrun them with the Army of Africa. There we go. We could do that. Just kind of attack. Yeah, why not? We're gonna have some losses, but I think it's best to start now. All right, let's start getting these guys on the ground. My goodness, time for them to land, get some food in them. Jackson Milford says, I don't even know why the Soviet Union even support the Spanish Republic, even though the Spanish Republic is going to lose anyway. I think it was really parts of the Spanish Republic they supported. If you read, for instance, George Orwell's Homage to Catalonia, which is definitely a book I would recommend. He was fighting with a group called POUM, which was like the Workers' Party of Marxist Unification. And what happened was, like, basically the Soviet Union was like, these guys are Trotskyists. You have to declare them enemies. And I think that was quite common, too, where the forces of the Republic would take, you know, allies and pretty much turn them into enemies. You know, kill them, imprison them, etc. I think that was a big issue as well. You know, if you got allies, what's that? Who made that saying? Was it George Patton? He might be a son of a bitch, but he's our son of a bitch. Or was that Eisenhower? One or the other. But you got to have that perspective, you know, if you're going to work with different groups. All right, let's see. Maybe one more force, I believe. Yes. All right, we're going to bring these fellows over. But we've got a hell of an army at this point, moving forward towards the target. We do still have this infantry unit. I kind of forgot about him, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. It's not going to make a huge difference. Yep, that's it. Turning it over to Spain. Yeah, I would recommend, Shin, like, seriously, obviously, nothing beats a good old history book, but read Homage to Catalonia, because it does give a perspective, at least from Orwell's, you know, point of view, that's pretty good, and it gives you a lot of, like, the frontline battles, the, just the goings-on in Madrid at the time, like, what people were talking about. It's an interesting book. It's pretty good. It's Patton, yeah, it had to be, right? All right. Here we go. So I don't like that they're moving up with some pretty effective AT guns over here. Let's see if we can't do something about that. First, we'll get a bombing run here. It's okay, I can handle the AA fire. I wonder if we should follow them into these marshes. I think so. It looks like we can't. It looks like we're not going to get that option. So here's what we'll do. We'll move up with this unit, push forward with this unit, and we'll soften them up with some artillery. Maybe another artillery strike, and they won't even consider resisting. But I think this is going to be much more useful firing on the enemy AT guns, artillery guns, etc. So let's do that with our arty. And let's push forward with the Colonial Army. Okay. Push forward here, and I think we get a kill. The Army of Africa wins again, even with that artillery support. Yeah, they can't stand up to that. Jackson Milliford, there is a game like that. It's Order of Battle. It's made by one guy, Lucas Janishkin. And it's pretty much like Panzer Corps with some story-based effects and also the Pacific Theater, like a massive Pacific Theater. Order of Battle Pacific. It might be free right now, as a matter of fact. I think it's actually free on the Steam store. Man, we've got a hell of an army moving up. If you guys just look at the map there, just all that gray. That's what we're looking for, baby. I wonder if I can rebase this guy, but what's going to happen to his friend? I don't know. Well, let's find out. So we'll rebase this guy at the same airfield as that bomber. I think he'll probably just be right next, like right beside him there in Cadiz. And then, of course, we get some additional bomber support. So good for us. Right, this guy needs some reinforcements. This guy needs some reinforcements. Basically, all of our armor needs to be reinforced here. So the only exception I'm going to make, of course, is to this armor, since he's looking pretty good. And we're just going to chase that arty away. I believe we fired all of our artillery. I'm going to move this one a bit closer. He's looking nice. I think he's looking pretty nice. Yes, absolutely, Pepe. It was a messy war. I mean, very similar to the war in the Balkans, I think, in terms of the complexity. Again, like the car lists, things like that. Just so many different groups. Some of the groups changed sides during the war. It's very, very nuanced, I guess we could say. There is one, though. Fat Cat just mentioned the Marine Corps would be a ghost game, but there is one for the original Panzer Corps. There's a Marine Corps DLC that's pretty cool, although I don't recall if it's got the Pacific. It might. It's just been a long time. It's been years. All right, we've got some additional enemy tanks. Those look like BT-5s. T-26. Oh, man. It's not a T-34, but at least for 1938, it might as well be. Look at that monster right there. We got to do something about it. But they've spread their lines. So what I'm going to do is actually try to damage the anti-tank weapon here. Like, really damage it. We're going to end up having to attack it with a tank. I know it seems kind of counterproductive. Unless... Let's see if we can't reposition these guys. Okay, that's a little better. All right, we're pushing out here, and now just good old-fashioned fire on the 7th Militia. And if you get really close here, by the way, I like this level of detail. I don't know if it's just me, but you can actually see the guy with the CNC Phi Cap. It's just a nice little touch, and really gives you the, you know, that rebel perspective. Open fire. Yeah, dealing with that is going to suck, but we're going to deal with it, don't worry. And again, frustrating how the enemy can just kind of retreat if we're dealing too much damage. They can also, of course, reinforce. So I'm going to push this tank into the marshes. Not something I would recommend, but only so that we can potentially take this guy out this turn. And look at that. He's still going to retreat. So we'll keep pushing forward with our Army of Africa. We shouldn't take too much damage with this push. And look at that. They surrendered. Now, I find that in pretty bad taste, because let's be honest, they opened fire and then surrendered to us. I don't know if I like that. Oh, I gotta check that one out. Yeah, Pepe, I'm not sure if you have our Discord channel link. If somebody could drop it for Pepe, please drop it there. I'd love to check that out. I love that sort of stuff, man. And I actually just got Netflix this week, so I'm looking for stuff to watch. Got the high ground here. And again, AA just firing on us here. If we could push through with some of the infantry, even though we are putting this guy at risk, I think the risk is worth it to destroy that unit. So the Army of Africa has had a good day here, just pushing through the marshes towards Seville airfield and Seville herself. Let's push forward. I believe there's also a bonus objective. Yeah, it's right there. If we garrison 5 of the Seville units with Army of Africa units, which is like historically what occurred, then we get an extra or quite a few bonus points. Let's open fire on the arty. At least they're not going to have much in the way of actual tactical support here. That's right, we still have artillery back here. Let's push them up a little closer. Looking good, man. We still have the bombers. We can't forget about these guys. That air support is extremely important. Another group of bombers. These guys have already taken quite a few hits. That's what it takes to be in the Condor Legion. Gotta risk your life big time, man. Oh, definitely, Stin. So, Stin is saying here, wasn't the Spanish Civil War also a playground for all major European nations to test their weapons of war? It was kind of like the tryouts for World War II. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Soviets got to test their stuff by giving a lot of their stuff. And actually, I forgot who asked earlier, but that's another huge reason. So, the Soviets had the ability to test so many different weapons, you know, by participating in the war or sending weapons to the Republic. So yeah, that was one part. I believe even the British sent weapons to the Republic at one point. Let's rebase this guy at Cadiz. And actually, even though we don't really need to, no, I didn't mean to do experience units. My bad. Yeah, that was a bit of an exaggeration. And let's end the turn. The enemy armor is damn aggressive here. They're not going to give up easily. Bojack Horseman, is that some sort of like animated thing, like anime? Sympathy for the Devil, like the song by Immortal Technique? That's a really good song. I don't know if that's what you were referencing. I'm way too old school, man. Here we go, they're opening up. Ooh, they are going through the marshes, and more international brigades showing up. I don't like how this tank is acting. It's quite squirrely. All right, first things first, I want to get rid of that tank, but big but here. We've got to get rid of the artillery. So let's do that first. I think we can actually get him to surrender. Yep. Beautiful. Just captured the enemy, and now I'm going to try and get rid of that T-26 squad. Once again, I will keep targeting the anti-tank. Although maybe we should focus on this for now. It's tough to say. That's going to be a really tough vehicle to take out. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to dedicate some manpower to it. Let's get the recon behind it. It's encircled. Gotta get this guy some reinforcements. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's gonna be a constant nuisance. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got him encircled. I'd like to not attack with that armor because I want to add some reinforcements, but we just have an opportunity to wipe out a squad here. We've got to do it. Gunfire in the marshes, and there we go. One of the Republic squads down. I think we just had to do it. We are kind of risking that tank, but he should be all right. All right, let's get these bombers in. Hey, they're looking quite good with that recon support. Nice. Hey, we actually did a little bit of damage to the tank group. This bomber desperately needs some replacements. And let's send this guy out. It looks like the Republic's Air Force has arrived, so I might need to try to bring over those fighters as well. That doesn't seem like it's going to be an easy task, though. Here we go. All right, let's bring over a fighter or two. See, all of these guys need repairs either way. Kind of wish I made it here with the AA, actually, now. Kind of missing it. Take care, Jin. Thank you for stopping by, man. I hear you, man. It's a late stream. I hear you. It's nearly midnight here in Portugal. It's like 15 minutes to midnight. Let's make sure we haven't forgotten anybody. Nope. Could do this. Let's just hope that their tank doesn't try to attack. Yeah, it would be interesting. I think, you know, modern day, maybe not modern day, but maybe like just Cold War era would be really good. But I doubt they're going to do that. It's just too much of a risk. Gunter Fritz, once again, it's our turn, boys and girls. All right, keep on firing. Yeah, it's going to be 0-0, but I'm still going to try to break through that armor. At the very minimum, let's open fire on their other armored units. How about that? And we'll also try to bring in the bombers, because the bombers have been damn effective against this tank. I think they might be the key to destroying this thing. Here we go. All right, let's dedicate our attack here to the enemy armor. 15 Bilbao. And look at that, immediately pushing back. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to trap these guys. This is such a narrow gap into Seville, but look at that. They surrendered. So that aggressivity is working quite well for us. And now that we've got the enemy trapped in the marsh, there's no chance. That's one thing I've noticed. If they get into the marsh area, they are finished. Thank you for trying. Now, first things first, let's get some replacements for the 9th Panzer. They've actually taken quite a few casualties here in Spain, which is not something we would recommend. Of course, we want to try and not lose any ground units, because we're just supposed to be here as advisors on an advisory level, you know, so no evidence. Could swing out over there, try to get some shots on him. Man, he's really gonna hurt that other SDKFC. Yeah, well, let's try to do some damage. Just reduce the damage we're already gonna take. In fact, we might be able to get one of these bombers out there to do a little bit of damage to him. Let's make it happen. And once again, we shall resupply this guy. If I can see any of the enemy air units, I will attack, but I'm not actually seeing any right now. And even attacking like this is risky. Like, we're still going to take damage. That's how good he is compared to the tanks we have. I will try to attack with infantry, do a little infantry assault. Nice! They surrendered. There's just not much stomach left in the enemy. They don't have the stomach to fight. I think we're doing a pretty good job at just surrounding their units. Make sure nobody needs reinforcements. He definitely does. He does as well, but we can wait. How does that work? We've got recon on this guy. Oh, because they've got the high ground. Okay, okay. Makes sense. Yeah. It will take time, but we shall win the fight. In fact, I might even just bring this fighter out just to get some damage on that ground unit. Or, alternatively, on the artillery. Oh, that's scaring me. We've got some additional Soviet tanks back here. Not sure what we're looking at. Oh, wait a minute. An FT-17. This is a French tank. So I guess the French were giving their hand-me-downs to the Republic as well. Oh, Tom says there is a mod. Sim, eu falo português, Tom. There is a mod called Modern Conflict for Panzer Corps 1. Ah, nice. A lot of good stuff there in the old Panzer Corps 1. Night Moon. Can we do anything to stop Faroe Islands and Japan in their bloodbath in the ocean? Oh, is this about the dolphins and the whales? I think it's awful that they would target dolphins and whales. It's a terrible thing. It's just one of those creatures that you simply don't need for human consumption. And with the importance whales have to the ecosystem as a whole, yeah, I can see, man, why that would upset you. But I don't know why you shared that here. My goodness, we're not even playing in the Pacific. What in the world, man? I'm all for the whales, though. All right, let's end the turn. We're so close to Seville, but still quite a few of these enemy armored positions. And the enemy air force is back. So I think we can handle it fairly easily. And keep in mind, the real important part here, the main objective is to hold and capture Seville airfield. We don't necessarily need to take Seville. Controlling the airfield alone is enough. It's sufficient. Okay, it looks like, look at that. One of our guns just got the Heroic Defense Medal. Pretty cool. I was kind of hoping it would be an infantry unit, but or tank unit, I should say. But no luck. And hopefully, this is a cakewalk. So let's try to take on the French FT-17 tanks. Looks like a few of the Republic's infantry are riding out there, but I think they'll return. I'm guessing they went into this area to reinforce the actual group, and they will be back. All right, keep up the pressure. Gonna have to reinforce these guys. We don't have much of a choice. Same with these guys. We could follow up right now with them, but I think it's wiser to reinforce. Again, we're trying to reduce casualties. Let's pull them back. Look at that. As long as we can surround this airfield, that's going to be the key. So attacking that mechanized unit did the job. Now let's see if we could just pepper him with tank shells. These aren't really even tank shells. They're like 20mm shells, I believe, when it comes to the Panzer 1As. Encircled. Let's see if we can get another surrender. Yes! Now that's an easy grab there with the Army of Africa. Seville airfield secured. Be sure to protect it from counterattack. Fair enough. That's going to be our job right now, is to protect Seville airfield from any sort of counterattack. And of course, if we can also take the city itself, well, that's an added bonus. Can we move this guy up as well? Yep, might as well. All right, time for the bombers to do their thing. Sehr gut. And actually, we can even tangle with some of the forces, well, the air forces here of the enemy. I should have gone for that motorized unit right there. I think we could still get an attack on him. But as you can see, there's only one unit in that smaller town, that suburb of Seville. So let's see if we can't wipe him out once and for all. 19th Bilbao Armored is no more. And it would be wonderful if we can move in an infantry unit this turn, but it looks like we'll have to wait a little bit longer. All right, let's take some shots here. Same time, we can also bring over the rest of our air forces. All right. Ah, fresh mechanized forces. I never like to see that. But at least the enemy morale seems to be pretty weak here, likely because they know that we have artillery and air support. They're back for more. I don't think so. I think the Panzer 1 just had those twin 20mm. Yeah. That's why, like, we can barely call it a tank shell. I mean, it comes from a tank, so I guess it's a tank shell. Here we go. Okay, maybe we can ignore... No, let's get right into Seville. Let's make it happen. You only make it happen by doing. So now the flag of nationalist Spain, instead of the flag of the actual, you can see a difference here. Instead of the flag of the actual Condor Legion, since we're sending in the Republic's, or excuse me, the National Army's troops, we're actually turning this to the nationalist Spain flag. So that's going to be my goal, is just turn this all to nationalist Spain, and then we complete the bonus objective as well. So let's do that. Of course, I want to make sure we still have a defender in the city. Let's get him in there. It's going to rattle him just a little bit. And actually, I don't typically like to chase, but I am going to chase just to take out the FT-17. And as you can see, there we go. Those twin guns on showcase, unable to actually pierce the damn thing. Maybe our SDKFC will have better luck. He's got a machine gun too, but he seems more dedicated to the job. There we go. Well done. Yeah, that's an easy choice. I don't see how we take that much damage. Oh, because it doubles as an anti-tank gun. Derp. Let's send the infantry forward. They'll make short work of that. And actually now we might just be able to wrap it up. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Get some reinforcements here for our other Army of Africa unit. And we could actually cut these guys off with our armor. I say we do it now. This creates encirclement, as you guys can see. And if we can just continue that, well, I think we stand a good chance at just pretty much walking right through here. Not going to be getting your supplies for a while, my friends. Although I am worried about that tank unit. That could turn out bad. Let's keep moving in from the marshes. And maybe some additional air support. That never hurt anybody. First, though, I'd like to engage the enemy's fighters. As long as we stay away from them, though, we can carry out our bombing runs first. So let's just keep a distance, keep a safe distance. And I actually want to retrain or recruit additional fighters for now. We could still do some damage, but it might be best to wait. So let's just head out, do a little damage. Next turn, we're going to have to recruit more fighters here as well. Not bad. There's going to be a little bit of flak going in. Or just, in this case, actually, just enemy fighters attacking us, but that's okay. And maybe one more attack with the bomber. If we can spot them, we will carry out the attack. Especially these fresh units over here. I'm going to try to weaken them before they actually reach the front lines. That was a nice air attack, actually. Seems like the Panzer 1 had 2 machine guns instead of 20 millimeters. Oh, wow. So not even 20 millimeter autocannons. Man. Olá, Nuno Coimbra, tudo bem, amigo? Jackson Milford, he says, I wonder if Germany could win in World War I if they had not attacked France first and tried to keep the front small as possible. I have to be honest. Like, I'm fairly well versed in World War II history, but not nearly as much in World War I history. I think they were pretty screwed either way, I'll be honest with you. I could be wrong on that. I mean, maybe they could have made the war last a lot longer, but that's about it. Ending the turn. They've got additional airfields. Well, of course they would. It's interesting that they're showing us that all the way to the north here. No, don't destroy the guns. Those guys have been around since the beginning of the actual battle. I'd rather keep them if possible. Oh, what's this? What is that? (33rd Brigade mixed. So this would be like international brigades. Okay. That makes sense. Slightly more elite than the standard units here. But again, they still have a lot of guys here. All right, let's try to break through. See if we can get an instant kill with just... Nah, that's not going to work. This is going to be more useful, actually. Attack over here. Good work. And now we're actually going to push in here. I also want to control the road. Hopefully we can bring in support and supply to these guys right here. Look at that. We can even grab that city. I do want to leave defenders, though, here at Seville Airfield, so let's bring him in. But it's starting to look quite nice. I think you guys will agree. Now we're starting to really wrap things up. Start getting that recon on. And let's push some additional units through. Yeah, I'm going to have to go for the mass attack just because of the opportunity that presents itself right now. Obviously, I want to continue through Seville for that extra little bonus, but right now I'm focused on victory purely. Let's get some elite replacements. We can afford them. think they'll be useful next turn, and just some standard replacements here for this armor. And actually, look at that. We can get started early, attacking over the bridge in Seville. Let's bring in the bombers. All right, let's see if we can't train the enemy planes here with our own fighters. Attack. We do have the Condor Legion, after all. Like, one of the good things you can do in this particular DLC, if you plan to follow the entire campaign, of course, you know, the entire grand campaign, you can really train your pilots here quite well. Here we go. Get that additional fire support. Not seeing any other enemy units that we can reach. Here we go. It's not much, but it all counts, and they do have AA support here. Yeah, this might end quite badly for us. The bombs didn't even touch the ground. What? Come on. That's physically impossible. I saw them drop. They must have been duds. All right, let's keep this guy around just to harass the international brigades. But look at that. They do have some pretty decent support arriving. I'm sorry, that doesn't look like international brigades. To me, it looks like North Vietnamese units. It just really does. That could be improved upon. Okay, let's end that turn. Okay. I just had someone ask me a really stupid question. Sorry, I had to pause there and just collect myself. I'm usually pretty open to all sorts of questions, but some of them really, I don't understand how people get to certain conclusions. Let's put it that way. All right, let's see. Yeah. No, but basically, it was a guy asking me, because, you know, I was telling him that I have family that were part of my family on the American side was part of the Dalton gang, you know, the famous Dalton gang. And he's like, how can you be Portuguese and American? Like, how can you be, you know, have colonial ancestors and also be Portuguese? And I'm like, I have two parents? I mean, like, I don't know, like, how does somebody ask that kind of a question? All right, let's see. Push through. Yeah, look at that, guys. We might be able to take Seville fully. And wonderful. We could even go for a follow-up attack, but I'm so happy with my position right here. I don't think I'm going to risk it. What I will try to do is do some follow-up damage to this guy. Bring in the bombers as well, and just see if we can't get rid of him immediately this turn. Look at those bombers, man. They're so good against the armored units. Boom. He needs reinforcements, unfortunately. Push on through. And again, here, really just more to keep that arriving army off our back in Seville. Because I believe if we hold it for one turn... Maybe we have to hold it till the end. I don't honestly know. But maybe if we hold it for one turn, that'll be sufficient. Bring in the Army of Africa here. And I want to pull back if we can. We'll try to save this SDKFC. Yeah, he'll be all right. They're still fighting over Seville airfield. Yeah, I think it's going to force us to hold on until the end of all the turns here. And we also have to bring in some more Army of Africa units. So we might have to bring some back. Hopefully we can do that before the end of, or the cessation of hostilities here. We're going to have to move back with this guy. Made a little mistake there for the bonus objective. Look at that! Those are forces of the Republic. Those are proper military forces there. So things just got serious. I think we might just want to hold on to this area for now. Alright, here's the idea. The idea being, if we can completely hold this area with only Army of Africa units, there we go. We did earn some commendation points there. That's pretty cool. All right, so now we just have to hold off the tide of enemies arriving. And that Army of Africa unit will not be making it back home, I don't believe. Hopefully this artillery helps quite a bit here. Let's take a look here at the chat. A lot of interesting ideas from you guys. Whether or not that would occur, I'm not sure. But I love this this sort of alternative history perspective for sure. First, Guardia Civil. So yeah, definitely units of the Republic. Let's try and just damage the Guardia Civil, the Civil Guard, as much as possible. Reinforcements, in fact, elite replacements. This is not a core unit, so this is not a smart choice. Let's just get regular replacements. Regular replacements there, regular replacements here if we could afford them. If not, we'll just wait till next turn. And keep on trying to spread the love with our bombers here. He might be able to pull back. Let's see. Just barely. He's still kind of in enemy attack range. What I'm not understanding is why the 4th Militia is doing so much damage. It has to be the supporting artillery it's got there. So let's just keep our distance. Let them come to us on the road. Damn it, did not mean to do that. Could also try to take that auxiliary airfield for the extra bonus. I don't know if I want to risk it, though. See, so now some of our guys in the northeast of the city are encircled. This could lead to bad tidings. I want to be very careful with this approach. That fallback may have saved them. That retreat may have actually saved them. All right, let's get some much-needed reinforcements here for them. Some replacements, I should say. We'll also, just to really annoy the Republic, we'll replace the artillery units there. Because they've been bombarding that area with their ships since the start of the game. That's going to be interesting. Hey, how's it going, Eric? How is the Spanish Republic one of the few countries to have a purple flag in history? That's a good question. I don't know. That is a really good question. I think it's a great-looking flag, frankly. But, yeah, a little odd, yeah, from that perspective. Yes! Some more enemy equipment and another surrendered unit. Now, keep in mind that some of these surrendered units, particularly the Army of the Republic surrendered units, a lot of these guys, you know, depending on their loyalties, depending on how they felt about the war, could eventually in exchange for some freedom, just go ahead and join Franco's forces. Sometimes there would be massacres, of course. And there we go. Another captured mechanized unit. The Army of Africa is just having a field day with the mechanized units of the enemy. We could actually get cocky here and try and go for that gun, but I'm going to keep things simple. And look at how much damage we can do here at range at the Guardia Civil. Time to bring in our fighters. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. It's been... just wanted to take a little break from YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to get back to my regular upload schedule, but it's nice to see people stopping by even at a late hour like this. Actually, I'm going to hit that unit just because we can tank the numbers in these mixed brigades so that they're not nearly as dangerous to our units as they approach. So let's do that. Really just try to reduce numbers. Bombardieros. I'll make an exception with this guy because he needs to get some more units. All right. I mean, spirited effort for sure for them to retake the city. Like, no doubt about it. But it's just not going to work. I think maybe if that mixed brigade had been a little bit closer, maybe where that that truck is coming from now, they would have had a chance. Now I'm not so sure. Although, look at that. They have pushed us out of Seville. The question is, can we retake that position and hold it? We'll have to wait and see. I think we should be able to. And we don't currently have a unit in the airfield, probably just to be safe. We want to go ahead and move a unit there. All right, so here's what we're going to have to do. Let's see if... oh, he's going to have to go back into his original position. So we're going to have to try and damage this unit with our other infantry units without actually leaving the city. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Things are going pear-shaped for our Army of Africa units. We can't even reach them with planes. That's really bad. Okay, fair enough. Pull back with this armor as well. At this point, we just want to save our units, really. Because they've got a bit of a horde arriving. Yeah, we're just going to flip them around here to get the extra attack. All right, at least that will push them back, but it's not going to stop the 3rd militia unit from attacking. At this point, they are encircling the city, but a bit too late for that, I think. We want to be careful, though, right here with the Seville airfield, because this brigade is making me very nervous. That mixed brigade that they've sent down to the south. That could become very problematic. Gunther Fritz. All right, first of all, let's replace... I'm not even going to attack. I'm just going to fortify that unit. Again, in an effort not to lose it. Same thing over here. We want to fortify that existing unit. But of course, killing some additional enemy units with our tanks is not a bad idea. Because again, they can gain experience points, etc. There's a nice little surrender we've got going on. And again, probably just going to try and damage the unit to make absolutely sure he's not going to be a threat to us next turn. Let's bring in our finest bomber here. But first, you know what? Let's target that attack plane, the enemy plane there. Try and reduce its its ability to influence this battle at all. Let's try to shoot it down. Good shooting, boys. Got one going down. That's looking quite nice. Beautiful. Just to help out our forces, let's carry out an additional attack against these guys too. I think we can bring in reinforcements, although I think this is kind of negligible because I'm pretty sure the Army of Africa aren't core forces, but I could be wrong. You know, maybe we'll find out together. Give me victory. See if we can hold Seville. And they still aren't giving up. They're still giving us a fight, but I think this will be the victory here. Mein General, our nationalist contact in Spain, should be joining us any moment now. Abwehr dossiers describe Colonel Bolanos as... Wagner is interrupted by a woman entering the field tent. You aren't Colonel Bolanos. Who are you, and what is the meaning of this? Calm yourself, German. I bring news of your missing colonel, if you'll just read these communiques. Wagner holsters his Luger and reads the documents. Mein General, this is bad news. It says here that Bolanos is dead, ambushed by a communist faction supporting the Spanish Republic. I'm not sure where that leaves us now. I hope there are answers in this second communique. Apparently, General Sanjurjo himself is coming to meet us. I certainly did not expect we would be meeting their leader of the nationalist movement, but wait. According to this, he should already be at this meeting. A Spanish officer enters the tent, again interrupting Oberleutnant Wagner. It's Franco himself! I'm afraid he won't be coming to join us, my German friends. General Franco, it's an honor, sir, but I don't understand. Where is... General Sanjuro is dead. He was en route from Portugal when his plane crashed. I'm here to take charge, and I require an update on the situation. I'm sure Franco had nothing to do with that crashing. First elements of the Condor Legion have been successfully deployed to Spain. Our bombers of Kampfgruppe 88 are ready for action. Our force is comprised of vehicle, tank, and aircraft units, but no German infantry divisions. Yes, I am aware of the extent of German support. We'll be counting on you to take control of the skies and support our operations. I understand you successfully airlifted a portion of my Army of Africa already as well. We'll have to break the Republican blockade to fully mobilize my troops. But before that, what of our local nationalist forces? According to these documents, Colonel Bolanos was killed, and this lady here seems to be representative of the local militia. Is it true? But you're dressed like you're from Milicianas. Explain. General Franco, my name is Ana Sofia Vega. My allegiance belongs to your nationalist cause. Yeah, she definitely looks like a CNT5 member. My comrades and I could not stand the atrocities we witnessed under the Red Terror, so we defected. And this is what I was referring to before, where unfortunately, in the time, of course, of the Republic, particularly when this was all going on, the Soviets gave a lot of kill orders for people that they suspected were not going to be supportive of the communist cause, and just in general sort of had a lot of say-so in the Republic's government, which led to a lot of, you know, allies being killed pretty much. All right. You look familiar. Vega, you say? I served with an Alejandro Salvador Vega in the Rif War. Any relation? He was my father, sir. An honorable man to his very end, and I see that honor continues to run in his family. Very well, I shall trust you. If I cannot trust the men and women of my own country, one mistake of judgment will hardly matter. Now then, I will absorb your local forces into my own, but still require your services. Without Bolanos, I need a new liaison officer to coordinate with our German allies. Will you serve me in the mission to put an end to this inept and corrupt Spanish Republic, Ana Sofia Vega? Of course, my general. Very well, I hereby grant you the field promotion of Capitana. Only together will we succeed against the Republic. By the way, the nationalists would never allow a female captain. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But that's okay. Artistic license and all. A captain, but I suggest you all get acquainted. Our work to overthrow the Republic has only just begun. All right, General Franco leaves the tent. I really just want to find out what the next mission is. Let's take a look, guys. Historically, the operation to transport the army of Africa from Morocco to Spain, which was a huge success. By flying over the Republican naval blockade, thousands of troops were moved across the Strait of Gibraltar in what would be the world's first major military airlift. Okay. So off we go. Nice little victory. All right, guys. Let's see what's next. Heads up, mine general. Capitana Vega is following right behind me, and she looks like she means business today. German mercenaries, I have an... She called us mercenaries. I have an urgent order from General Franco for your immediate attention. We've learned the battleship Jaime and her escorts have made port near Malaga. That's that massive battleship that was kind of holding us at bay. We also identified a major Republican weapon depot here at Antequera. If we can occupy the depot, you should have all the materials you need to refit some of your transport aircraft into bombers. All right. I do remember some plans to convert the Ju-52 into a bomber. This is before the Ju-52 was a bomber. That's crazy. So primary objective is to capture both victory hexes. And also a bonus objective would be to sink the Jaime, but I think that's going to be pretty difficult. So there we go. I guess we're back in the saddle again, and look at that. We've got those nationalist forces already in front of me. Quite cool. Now, of course, we get to the deployment phase, and look at that. We've got some Italian auxiliaries. Our Italian colleagues have committed the Corpo Troppo Volontare to participate in the Spanish conflict. You can purchase and deploy them as temporary auxiliary units to any battle. And it looks like Werner Schmidt got an actual extraordinary heroism bonus. This is one of our pilots, so always good to see him in the fight. Of course, we're going to want to drop him out on the field. Definitely want to get some bombers out here. And of course, some of our standard artillery units. Keep in mind that all of our infantry, it's going to be made up of the nationalist units we are supporting. So really, we're bringing up, you know, the artillery support, we do have some tanks, but again, and not many. Mainly the artillery and the air support is what we're responsible for. And actually, shame on me, I just did a total newbie move there. We should elite replace all first. There we go. And just get these guys out on the field. Still have some units to deploy. All right, man, that's a hell of an attacking force, though, isn't it? Like, that's pretty intimidating, I think. Oh, that's right. Some of your heroes are not assigned to any units. Hold on a second. We want to assign the heroes. It's been a while since I've played Panzer Corps 2. Is it mission overview? Oh, we also have the CTV infantry, our Italian infantry. We can drop them later. That's okay. And it looks like we even have additional orders here. So we're not directly controlling the allies. So throughout this battle, I guess we're really going to be in control of what they do. In this case, yeah, we just want to go ahead and have them defend that first turn. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. And if you did, you know what you got to do. Hit that like button, do all that fun stuff. And if you did, we will come back and continue this particular campaign. I'm just going to call it a mini campaign from now on of the Spanish Civil War in part 2 of Operation Condor. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, share with your friends, all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen, hasta luego amigos, muchas gracias.